I saw David Furones from the Sun Sentinel did a Q&A on Twitter, fire off some questions to him about the Dolphins. And someone tweeted at him last night, for Mike McDaniel, what do you do specifically and immediately as a coach to rebuild your team's confidence and also your own after such an embarrassing loss? And David responded, if I had that answer, I'd have his job and his salary instead of mine. He's got to come up with something. A theme of camp and preseason was how close this year's group had grown. So I would lean into that. You fight for one another, and the one loss doesn't tear this team down. That sounds well and good, but you played the game, Crowder.
Yeah.
What does a coach say to the team after a loss like that when it was obvious that they were never in the game? Nothing they did was right or good. So what do you do to prevent the team from looking at you, the coach, as a laughing stock?
I would tell you, as soon as you started saying that and what David Furones' response was, you have to take accountability, because that's what you have to do. I tell you the Paul Pasqualoni stories where we'll get scored on. We'll get, somebody scores 38 on us, and he'll come in and say, my defense works. You're just not doing it right. You'll lose guys then. So if you come in, I honestly don't believe Mike McDaniel's even built this way to walk in and say, man, y'all weren't ready to play. No, we all have to take responsibility. I need to have a better offensive game plan. Coach Weaver needs to have a better defensive game plan to be able to stop Daniel Jones from running and know where they're going with the ball and all those little out routes to get first downs. We need to have somebody sitting there. We need to play more cover two or somebody out there with outside leverage. Take accountability on the coaching side and also call the players out for their effort and their preparedness. I don't even know if that's a damn word, but like
it is.
We're to your point, we're close to this year. We all just got embarrassed. Let's all get better. And it starts with me as the head coach. I think that is the best approach that Mike McDaniel could make.
Ryan from Funky Buddha, by the way, texted me, Vinny Barbarino in Welcome Back, Cotter. Great salad.
He got a good salad, Solana. You're the salad expert.
Yeah, he had a great salad.
I'll check it out.
It was John Travolta back when he had hair. He had a great salad.
Oh, Solana would love John Travolta's salad.
Saw him in Greece.
Who had a better salad, him or Van Ginkel?
Nobody beats Van Ginkel's salad. Come on.
I just wonder if McDaniel, it's almost like, once the genie's out of the bottle, like we talked about it going into this season, like if that's who you are, that's who you are. I just, again, I know Rex Ryan, people are bristling at him calling him nerd boy, but like if that's who you are, it's really hard to shake that year 4.
But
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think you can shake that somewhere else in a different time. You can reinvent yourself. People reinvent themselves all the time. Very difficult to reinvent yourself where you already are,
But no,
and I just, I just don't know how he, like, the way he takes accountability is not the way people are, I feel like, used to hearing a leader take accountability, because it's going to be this weird road of words that go up and down and windy and sideways. And it's like, oh, I think he just took accountability rather than, where someone comes in and goes, yeah, I sucked.
Yeah.
We got our asses kicked. It starts with me. I'm not putting up with this mother bleeping bleep, 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 bleep anymore. We're going out there. We're going to start kicking some ass. But he just doesn't do it that way. So
to your point about the timing, the time of it, he can't walk. We talked about this when he tried to get tough on the guys missing meetings. You can't be here 3 years and now you want to start, finding and yelling at people. Bro, you ain't yell at me. I've been over your house and ate Thanksgiving dinner. Like, don't yell at me now. Like, take it easy. But he can take the accountability and, like I said, take most of the blame, but also tell the guys, or how I would do it. And it's funny, Dave Verona said it too. If I knew the answer to this, I'd probably be an NFL head coach. I would say I was not prepared to play this game. If I'm Mike McDaniel, fellas, I slipped. We slipped through the last couple weeks of camp. I slipped on the preparation. I slipped on the game call. I want you, when we sit in this meeting today, to go watch the film and see if you were prepared, because I question a lot of y'all's preparation. See if you were ready to play. See if you watched enough film on the Colts. See if you have the same epiphany that I had watching that game, that I was not prepared as a head coach. That's the come together thing he's going to have to do. You can't try to wear nicer sunglasses and off-white ones with all the players and now come in and cuss you out. Saban's going to cuss you out. Belichick's going to cut. Like, they're going to cuss you out. Andy Reid doesn't cuss them out. Andy Reid is a Hall of Fame coach. He can't turn into Belichick right now, but more of asking the question of you self-evaluate, because I'm telling y'all, I give myself an F. So see what grade you give yourself for last week and Sunday's game. And I think that's the approach he should take, because that togetherness, we're all in the foxhole together, rah, rah, rah. You can't do that and then jump out the foxhole and think I'm going to look at you as the dictator. Man, did you just cuss at me? Oh, nah, bro. Don't start that now. Like, that would be the
right. Watch your mouth.
Yeah, don't cuss at me now, bro. I done known you 3 years now. You ain't going to talk nasty to me.
But that's the conversation we were having yesterday following us playing the Rex Ryan sound. I'm with you that he didn't have his guys prepared. And, honestly, Crowder, I get what you're saying. But if my coach came in after week 1 when he had 9 weeks to prepare me and said, yeah, sorry, guys, I slipped, I didn't have you prepared, I guess I appreciate the honesty. But what does it say about that guy that couldn't be prepared for week 1? Like, now we're supposed to trust the same person to prepare for week 2?
That's a different argument, though, because you want him to try to fool you. That you want him to stick to his guns. I did everything I could to get you prepared.
No, I get it. But the idea that now I respect him more, because what it boils down to, and it was my argument yesterday, what I don't agree with is that there's the reason the Dolphins weren't prepared and the reason the Dolphins couldn't execute their scheme and couldn't execute their blocks and couldn't execute whatever the game plan was is not because they don't respect Mike McDaniel. It's because Mike McDaniel didn't prepare them properly. Mike McDaniel and the team itself wasn't ready to go execute those plays. That, to me, doesn't signify a culture problem. I don't think Mike McDaniel's trying to go in there and turn into rah-rah guy. And I don't necessarily think with this roster, rah-rah guy, Dan Campbell, gets them to where they need to be, which is Super Bowl contenders. I just think a better head coach or Mike McDaniel learning how to adjust and learning how to change when things aren't going his way, which is something he has struggled, is the difference. Not him becoming, this military, my way or the highway guy. That's not who he is. It's just like being an NFL head coach, which is finding the best ways to put my guys in the best position to win. And when that goes wrong early in the game, here's the answer to that. And he can't figure that part out.
And Solana, no, and you're speaking on two different streams. When you say adjustments, that's X and O. That's, hey, Mike, this damn offense isn't working. We had 3 sacks, 41 yards in the first half. I need to change that. And that's where Mike's going to have to say, I failed you with my second half adjustments of 41 first half yards. Yeah. But evaluate yourself and see if you were ready to play. It's the foxhole thought. It's what Hoch said, the togetherness. Do you preach togetherness so much? Don't say, I'm the problem, y'all were good. Because the players weren't good. They weren't good, but the coaches weren't good either. The answer, and like Hoch said, I played. The answer to this that I would respond to is if a terrible coach, that's why I brought up Paul Pasqualoni. When he'd walk in after games, man, cover 4 is great on this. Y'all just have to drop to 2. Well, if we're not dropping to 2 like you want to, call something else, butt wipe. Like, no, you're not going to blame me for your defensive failures. Hey, block better. Tua shouldn't be sacked 3 times in the first half. Y'all need to block better. You're going to lose your entire team if you go the route that you're not doing my scheme right. I did not have a plan B. To your point, Solana, fellas, I didn't have a plan B. This is me standing in front of the team room. I didn't have a plan B. I was not prepared with a large enough call sheet for this game for us to score 8 points, and it took us 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter to get points on the board. That's on me. Y'all go watch this film. Be honest with yourselves. You don't have to write it down to see if you were playing at your top level. Let's regroup and get back. It's not the best way, Solana. I'm not saying this is the best way to approach it. I honestly am saying this might be the only way to approach it. We all need to take accountability for getting our ass whooped by a mediocre team in the Daniel Jones-led Colts by 25 points. And I just looked at the what's it called? The game log, whatever. We lost in every damn category.
Everyone.
Defensive, offensive, first downs, yards. We had 211 yards. They had 418 or something like that. Like, we got embarrassed.
We didn't
all
even say
need
it
to look
yesterday.
at this game, Solana.
We didn't even say it yesterday. Daniel Jones, first quarterback in the history of the NFL to score on all 7 of his drives. Think about that. Like, Daniel Jones set records against the Miami Dolphins defense, set NFL historic records against
Joe
the Dolphins.
Montana, Dan Marino, those guys haven't done that. The best of the best haven't scored every time they touch the ball, and you let Daniel Jones do it. Defense, don't be mad at the offense. Offense, you can't be mad at the defense. You couldn't get no damn points on the board. You let these bastards score 33. Let's all evaluate ourselves and go into this Patriots game ready to go, because we all were not ready on Sunday when that ball was kicked off.
Except for Riley
including
Patterson.
the media. We got it wrong in the media as well. Everyone was in agreement that the front 7 was going to be able to put pressure on the quarterback. So we did not do a good job either, because that front 7, that was that was a fraud. It wasn't what we all thought it was.
Mm-hmm. And I was wrong with it. I thought you just gave me Judon. We already had Jalen Phillips. We already had Bradley Chubb, and we drafted Chop Robinson first round. Oh boy, we're going to get him. Daniel Jones was more comfortable than a priest in the church. Man, he had no problem back there relaxing.
So some of the stats though do point. Like, I understand, right? We were looking for sacks. We're looking for pressure. We're looking for, like, highlight reel stuff from the defense. And I think there was one instance where Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips finally broke the edges and were able to get to him. And that happened in the second quarter. But Chris Kaufman, CK Parrott on Twitter, who covers the team very well, he did tweet out that he doesn't understand the bashing of Miami's defensive performance from the standpoint of the pass rush, because Daniel Jones, he writes, averaged 2.3 seconds per attempt, which was the 4th quickest of all quarterbacks this weekend. So, look, I'm not defending the pass rush. Like, you know, I don't think they did a great job, but I also don't think it's fair to just blame the pass rush either, because in all honesty, no matter how good those guys are, Crowder, you could have 4 Jason Taylors rushing the quarterback the other day, and I don't think it would have made that big of a difference. The secondary, which everybody knew going into the game, is really bad. They don't cover well. They don't execute the scheme well. And none of them are familiar with what they're trying to do. That's a problem. And it was seen immediately in that game when your cornerback one and Storm Duck, before he got carted off, got burnt when there was no reason for him to stay in the flat. 0 reason for him to stay in the flat. And he just got burnt.
They're going to have to strategize a lot with that secondary. But Daniel Jones, Solana, and I get the numbers, if they need 2.4, you got to get their 2.2. I don't know how to answer that, but you're going to have to strategize with this secondary now. That Storm Duck is out, and he's really not a 1 corner. Jack Jones is not a 2 corner. What are you going to do now with these guys you have? And that's on Anthony Weaver. And
pray.
You know what?
Pray.
We have to go get it. We got to have a shootout. Hey, McDaniel, get more than 41 yards in the first half and see if they play differently. Because I guarantee Daniel Jones with a 30-point lead plays a lot looser and a lot more happy and takes more chances and runs the ball more. We have a 30-point lead, 28-point lead, whatever it was. Like, the complimentary football conversation, Terrible on all three sides of the ball. And just like OG said, what the hell is Matt Judon doing on punt return? Just
Crazy.
tighten up.
How pissed do you think Minkah Fitzpatrick, Tyreek Hill, and Matt Judon are after that game? Matt Judon got embarrassed playing a role that he had no business playing.
Hey, 14-year vet, come run off the edge on punt. I'll do whatever for the team, coach. Sounds good.
But I don't really know how to do this. I'm not familiar. No. Just do it.
Oh, Minka's hot because Minka's already. I told you, Minka's already got a little edge to him.
Yep.
Minka's fire hot right now.
Yep. He's got Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. He got Tua here. Let's do headlines real quick for the 4:00 hour. Headlines brought to you by Darrell Kia. Darrell Kia, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit them at Darrell Kia or DarrellKia.com.
Who was the analyst that was working the Dolphins game? I don't remember who it was.
Andrew Catalan,
Charles Davis, and Jason McCourty.
Yeah.
I think it was Jason McCourty who's like, this guy hasn't played special teams since 2017. Why is he out there? Like, he just couldn't believe. Why 2017? It's been 8 seasons since he's been out there. Why is he out there?
I'm not Matt Judon. That man went to the Pro Bowl. After I signed my second contract, year 4. Hey, Crowder, punt team. I'm good, Chief. Zach left. I'm the starting middle linebacker. No, I'm good, coach. Yeah. No, we need our tacklers on punt team. I know we'll find some tacklers.
Again, imagine though, they twist your arm, put you out there, and you make an embarrassing gaffe that costs you. You know, it doesn't in the long run. It doesn't mean anything because they got whitewashed so bad, but it's embarrassing.
Ed Miles, Austin Spittler, coach. Put them out there. I'm not going out there on punt team. No, I'm be tired. Dog tired, boss. Dog tired. No, I ain't ready for that.
So here's the only major headline that I want to present to you guys in this hour. Last week, we all took issue with a lot of different rankings and where different outlets were placing the Miami Dolphins in said rankings. One of those was Pro Football Talk. They had the Miami Dolphins listed as the 29th best team in the NFL. None of us thought it was right. None of us thought it was accurate. And truthfully, I just thought it was a little clickbaity, a little rage bait for Dolphins fans. It worked. Do you guys want to guess, as Pro Football Talk released their updated rankings, where the Miami Dolphins are ranked this morning?
I saw it, so I recuse myself.
31.
32. The worst team in the NFL. According to Mike Florio's Pro Football Talk, the Dolphins, in the latest power rankings, are the worst team in the NFL.
I mean, honestly, right now, if anyone had them above 28, lower than 28, it would be silly. So they're absolutely, based off of Sunday, absolutely one of the 4 worst teams in the league, maybe the worst team in the NFL.
The only team to score less was the Giants, correct? The Giants scored 6.
He scored 6.
The Dolphins scored 8. They're the second lowest scoring offense in the NFL. To Hoch's point, you can't be over 29 if you're the worst offense in the NFL.
I saw Brian Daboll already get asked yesterday if he's thinking of making a change at quarterback. He confirmed it'll be Russell Wilson in week 2 for the Giants. That'll be a weekly question.
Yeah, he killed him with the 6 points. Go Russ.
Yesterday, Monday Night Football, obviously, the Bears had a lead and ended up squandering that lead. Minnesota ends up winning in a pretty decent fourth quarter from J.J. McCarthy. Your Thursday night football game, by the way, it's a really good one. Packers, Commanders at Lambeau Field, Thursday night. First Amazon Prime game of the season.
I'm buying the Packers, man. I'm a buyer on the Packers after week 1.
Both of them. I'm buying the Commanders.
Yeah. I believe we had conversations over the last couple of years. Who would you rather have, Tua or Jordan Love? I think I may have sided with Tua several times during those conversations.
Slide me love. Slide me Jaden Daniels.
I don't think we should do that for at least a couple of weeks with any quarterback in the NFL right now.
Let's wait.
Slide
I'm with
me,
you, Solo.
Spencer Rattler.
They scored more than 8.
Aaron Rodgers or Tua Tagovailoa going into Sunday for week 2?
Still take 2.
I don't think you're right. I don't think you're. I don't think you're being truthful. I'm not even
I'm
kidding.
honest.
I don't think you're being truthful.
I don't really like Aaron Rodgers.
I wouldn't bail on Tua yet. Stop it. The question is really, like, do you think that one game, because it arguably was Tua's worst game, do you think that game is an aberration, or do you think that because Mike McDaniel has been figured out and Tyreek Hill has been stopped and Tua is, arguably more injured and older, and all the stuff that goes with what year is he in? 5? You're 5? You're 6?
No,
6.
6.
6 now.
Yeah.
Is that more of what you expect from Tua?
No.
Or is that going to be an outlier?
Outlier, aberration. There's no way Tua can score 8 points a game.
Has to be.
But are we going to
go from being as good and accurate as he had been to that's like going from A to F. You know what I mean? Like, you go from A to B plus to B to B minus. Like, there's gradations. You can't. I have a tough time believing that kind of drop off is possible.
You're looking at it from a 1-game sample size, though, man. And
I know I know if you look at like his last few games,
I hate to do it
does
because
it leans in that direction, but it's never been that bad. It's never been that bad.
It's never looked as bad as it did on Sunday. It's never, other than the Green Bay game when he had a concussion. And there are some rumblings. There were some videos of Tua taking some hits Sunday, and I don't know. Who knows? If that's the case, it's a bigger problem. But I'll just read you the stat again. 6-9, Tua and McDaniel, according to Barry Jackson, in their last 15 games that Tua's been available, 14 interceptions, 8 Tua fumbles. And that season, when the Miami Dolphins had an outstanding year and Tua was the most accurate passer in the NFL, their record against below 500 teams was outstanding. Their record against playoff teams was not. And Tua's stats dropped precipitously against those playoff teams. So, I know Tua's not as bad as we saw the other day. It's impossible. But I also don't think his best stats that we use, that you guys like to point to, are indicative of who he actually is in the NFL. Body of work.
No, to your point, is Tua a 133 passing yards a game, 3 turnover quarterback? No. Are we going to get to 27, 28 points a game because that's what it takes to win games? I'm not going to say that either. We're not going from 8 to 30. We're going to go from 8 to 14, maybe. We're going to have to build this thing up.
I think they're putting up 70. I think they're putting up 70.
It would be so great. It would be so great.
I'm looking for an alternate line right now.
The thing is.
All right, we got to wrap up this segment because we'll never get the DBJ calls in. We've got DBJ calls to get to from Saturday. So let's wrap up headlines so we can get to the DBJ stuff.
Your weather right now in South Florida, very hot, very humid, very rainy. That's your weather.
See what an alternate line is here just for one.
They're going to put up 50, Hawk?
Red. Dolphins minus 12.5 is plus 525. And I think the Dolphins are 2 touchdowns better than New England. So I'm going to lay that.
You go to Ybor City and bet that yourself. You're in Tampa.